Yeah, not a whole lot to say other than really, really uh, fired up to be back on the field with our guys these last couple of days. It has been a ton of fun. The guys are excited about, actually having an opponent. I think, what did we play? Kansas State on the 5th of December. So we're going to go 24 days without a game. We went whatever it was prior to that. I think right around 24 as well. A couple weeks prior to that too. So hadn't played a whole lot of football in a while. So, you know, practicing gets kind of old after a while. But the good thing is we also, because of all the COVID issues, we haven't really had an opportunity to even practice. So just, again, really, really excited to get back out there. The kids are flying around, having fun, smiling. It is really fun to be around them. And we'll go one more practice tomorrow morning, let the guys get off for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And then we'll resume on Saturday, the 26th, and kind of button up or tie up any loose ends, if you will, on the 26th and 27th, and then head to San Antonio on the 28th. So extremely grateful and honored to be representing the Big 12 again in the Valero Alamo Bowl. And I know our kids are excited to only have to drive an hour and a half down the road to go play in a bowl game, especially in 2020 when the bowl game is really just a road game, if you will. Questions?
Go ahead and start with Danny.
Tom, I'm curious, with your 4 defensive captains who have opted out and ended their careers early, is there anyone on defense who has stepped up in the leadership department, or anyone you've asked to say, hey, we need you to step up and lead this defense? Because obviously Sam's still there for the offense, but I don't know if there's anyone there for the defense.
Yeah, there is. There's multiple guys that are on our leadership council. You've got Josh Thompson, certainly comes to mind at corner. Keandre Coburn definitely comes to mind, and Moro Ojimo definitely comes to mind. So there's still plenty of leadership on that side of the ball for sure.
Brian, go ahead.
Tom, along those lines of guys who are now out, talk about who you're excited to see play. Maybe guys who haven't gotten a chance this season because someone was ahead of them, and now they are next man up. Who are some guys you're excited to see play?
Well, I don't know if it's because we haven't seen them. I mean, I think we're going to start 2 true freshmen on the offensive line, in Jake Majors and Andre Carrick. Those guys. Obviously, Jake played the whole game against Kansas State, and Andre played the second half and played really well. So to see what those guys do, to see what a Jaron Thompson can do with, a week and a half of practice under his belt to get ready. Keaton Crawford is a guy that I think we all have very, very high hopes for. To see Alfred, play full time at 3 technique, that'll be fun too. So there's guys that we've seen play. I mean, there's not going to be any. You're not going to show up in the Alamo Dome, Brian, and be like, "Hey, who is that?" But definitely a increase in their role and contribution and But again, the Kansas State game, I think I counted. You're talking about 2 true freshman O-linemen, a true freshman tailback, a true freshman safety, 2 true freshman 3 technique. I mean, there's a lot of true freshmen out there on the field making plays for us in a big time ball game. And I expect them to do the same in San Antonio.
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, Tom, you just kind of touched on it a little bit, but I wanted to ask you to maybe go a little.
Your mustache today? Is that your Christmas?
This is my Christmas stash. I like to hang some ornaments off of it on the day of. It's really nice. The family.
Yes, I love it. It looks good, by the way. It looks good.
Thank you. I wanted to ask about Alfred Collins. Obviously, with TQ being out, he's probably going to get a little bit more run. Just kind of what you've seen from him this season, and what you expect to see from him in the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah, I think Alfred is, the biggest thing Alfred's got to work on. He's just so big and tall. His pad level at times when he gets tired, gets a little bit high, and he's worked really, really hard, in staying in his gap too. Sometimes, he freelanced maybe a little bit too much early in the year, and he's a lot more disciplined now, and with his pad level, with his gap integrity, and then the explosiveness for a guy that size is very, very impressive.
And then, just another young guy on that line too, Vernon. Do you expect him to maybe get a little bit more run in the Alamo Bowl too?
Yeah, definitely. I think he'll be backing up Alfred. Steven, and I meant no disrespect to your mustache either. It looks really, really nice too.
All right, Sam, we're going to talk about your beard.
No.
I know I need a shave. It's been that kind of holiday season. Tom, you mentioned you guys hadn't practiced a lot lately, and it's been a while since you had a game. Has that helped your guys get a little bit of a mental break, given the grind of what this season has been and the challenges that have come with it? And did you guys at all discuss whether or not to play a bowl game? And if so, how much has the layoff that you guys have had the last couple of weeks helped in that discussion?
No, we didn't discuss it at all. I don't know if the players might have, or maybe in passing, but nothing that came across my desk at all. And then to answer your question, quite honestly, no. I mean, the break has not. I mean, the things that we have asked these guys to do away from the field house has not changed. In fact, it's gotten more strict and more stringent and more testing and more isolation and staying only with the people in your immediate your apartment or your household. The poor kids that live in the dorms, they don't even go outside. They come to the field house and then they go back to their dorms. They don't leave, and so it's been a long 10 months for these guys, and certainly been a long season with everything that we've asked them to do. And they're plowing through here this last week, and I'm sure the day after the Alamo Bowl is over on December 30th, you might be able to hear a giant collective sigh of relief from the entire team. Not that they're going to go do anything that would harm their community or harm their family, but just to not have to get tested as frequent as they get tested, and not have to be just so isolated, will definitely be a relief for them.
Anwar, go ahead.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, which one's that? What's his name?
That's Titan. He just woke up for a nap. I thought I put him down and executed it perfectly, but he just woke up 1 minute ago. So
what is he about? Looks about 2.5.
2.5, and he's in the 100th percentile, so he's doing good. I'll give you dibs in the future. I'm curious, if it's kind of bittersweet for you guys, because you've had some guys opt out, but I'm guessing that must be a sense of accomplishment that you've actually putting that many guys in a position to potentially get drafted, especially when you start thinking about the number of guys that might get drafted on this team. So kind of want to get your thoughts on that, and then maybe talk a little bit about the conversations that you've had to convince guys to return for that extra year of eligibility.
Yeah, it's both. I appreciate you saying that. No, it's we're excited for guys like Sam Cosme and Joseph Osai, two guys that potentially could go in the first round. We think Caden Stearns will test well and has had a good enough career. And then obviously with Brennan, his physical traits will certainly be something that is appealing to, I'm sure, a lot of NFL clubs. So really, really proud of those guys, proud of our coaches and our strength staff for developing those guys, some of which came in very ballyhooed, others did not. But they've all developed themselves into potential first and second rounders. And that's exciting for this program, and it takes a while to get there. You gotta start with recruiting and then you got to develop them. And, I think the future is very bright when you look at the trajectory of improvement in that area. And then as far as the seniors returning, yeah, that's big time addition for us. Anytime I had a meeting with all of those seniors and told them, we'd love for them all to come back, and I meant it. And some have decided to move on, which for obvious reasons, and others, weighed their options a little bit. And again, it's never a convincing. I'm not here to tell a young man what to do. That is not my job. I'm here to counsel, to mentor, to weigh the pros and cons. I tell them all, Texas is going to be fine. Texas is going to be fine. We're better with you here, but we're going to be fine. We're going to survive. So the advice that I give these guys is really comes from a parental standpoint, if you will. I want to weigh the pros and cons with them. I want to give them, all of the information that I have. And then, once they do make the decision, it's my job as a mentor to then support them in that decision.
Joe, go ahead. You there, Joe?
Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me?
Can't hear you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
And we're gonna have to move on to the next one. Chip, go ahead.
Tom, any update on guys coming out of the COVID protocol and how that could impact the bowl game, and any position switches happening in practice right now?
Yeah, I can't really comment on the COVID stuff, Chip, but we continue to get guys back daily. So that's encouraging. We unfortunately, there's still going to be a couple that that won't be out in time to safely put on the field for the Alamo Bowl, which is disheartening. But we got to follow the rules. And position changes. Montrell Estelle has asked to try to play wide receiver, and as you guys all know, it's been our position that, players are going to play where they want to play. And, we've made a point to never really force a player to play any position that he didn't want to play. And so Montrell, who was a tremendous wide receiver in high school, wants to try his hand at playing receiver. And then Jalen Green, is kind of doing some double duty just today, asked to try some safety. And so, especially with our numbers where they are, so he's going to kind of cross train at safety. We just started that today in practice.
And who's, at that jack position, obviously without Osai in there, how do you see that playing out for the bowl game?
Yeah, to be the guy, the usual suspects, Jet Bush and Reese Lato, and we'll see if we can get Prince some reps, but from an experience standpoint, it'll be mostly Jet and Reese Lato.
Time for one last one. Chuck, go ahead.
Yeah, Tom, I know you're going to have seniors competing in the Alamo Bowl, and in the offseason, you'll have the freshman class come in, presumably some transfers, but how much of this is a preview, dress rehearsal, whatever you want to call it, for the team that's going to be on the field in 2021? And what do you want to see in this bowl game from all the guys who are expected to be back?
Well, I think it's both, Chuck. I think it is a culmination of a really good season, and an opportunity to send these seniors out again as the winningest senior class since Colt McCoy's, which is an accomplishment to say the least. And to send these seniors out with their fourth straight bowl victory, I think is important to everybody in this program. But it is a bit of a turning of the page too. You're right. And especially with the COVID and guys choosing to move on to the National Football League, this will be a good test for some of these young guys. But most of them have experience, and it's really more of a precursor, if you will, to spring ball. Obviously, keeping our fingers crossed that we have spring practice, but just again, another opportunity for a lot of these young guys to go out there and compete in a game setting, and get that experience. And then, but I do think it's important not to discount the seniors that'll be playing their last game in the burnt orange and white too. That's a big time motivation for a lot of guys on this team.